they surprised everybody.
Yeah.
You know, they look pretty good as a team, so we'll see if they perform well against Australia.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't know if we have any rules because Paraguay was so bad.
Yeah. Well, what is it like? We've been in 6 World Cups, and I think we scored a combined 4 goals, and got 4 goals in one game, something like that. It's something ridiculous.
Well, we're gonna pull them, we'll start up to our.
Really
That's a
cool.
terrible team.
Yeah.
So you get the lighter grade.
Please share it back.
That's
Sports fan at all?
No, I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
The ball when they go to the ground.
Or we can catch up. Right there's good.
It's not gonna be here.
No, she's golfing.
Rain?
Karen. All right. I call to order the Counties of Warren and Washington Industrial Development Agency meeting on June 15, 2026 at 4 p.m. I get a roll call, please, Ally.
Ian Bruno,
Here.
John Tackland,
Here.
Connor McCoy,
Here.
Melissa Fitch, Mark Yearshaw,
Here.
Juan Gonzalez.
Here.
We have 6 out of 10.
Great. In your meeting packet, read ahead. On page 10 is the May 18th IGA board meeting minutes. I will entertain a motion to accept those minutes. Connor, second. Dan, any discussions? Edits? None? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstained? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, turning it over to treasurer for accounts payables approval on page 2.
So, reviewing the balance sheet, some minor changes, but nothing too strong a note. Cash balance now was at 240,000, still remaining strong. HUD reimbursement and Fast NY reimbursement total roughly 250,000, so a lot to come in there. Moving on to the accounts payable, it is totaling $47,943 this month, of which $18,909 are reimbursable, so almost half. Outside that, everything else kind of falls in line with what we typically see and are on the auto pay kind of system. So recommending we approve those and all items unless there are any questions.
All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the accounts payable. Mark, second. Melissa. Get a roll call, please, Ally?
Dan Bruno,
Yes.
John Tackland,
Yes.
Connor McCoy,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch.
Yes.
Mark Hirshaw,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes,
Motion passes.
great. Moving
So,
on to year-to-date financial reports.
Yep. So profit and loss statement. Again, year over year, slight decreases expected as Hewitt departed. Kind of repeating that over and over, except for on a new positive note, the exit 19 fees hit our P&L, which was $161,770, which actually puts our fee income much more in line with last year. So that looking good, and excluding the canal side rent, much more in line to prior year. Only other thing I'd mention is expenses are elevated, but that was, due to the water main breakage, which led to another gross overall net income loss of $44,311 on the year. But taking that aside, all other things look normal and everything is in line. So beyond that, if there's any questions, that's all I got.
All right, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to accept the year-to-date financial reports. John, second. Mark. Any discussion? Roll call, please, Ally.
Dan Bruno,
Yes.
Yes.
Mark Hirshaw,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes,
Passes.
motion passes. Great, thank you, Ally. Reports of committee, Park Chair, start with you.
Sure. Canal side, we have photos in front of you provided by the Barton. That East Street entrance modifications are complete. Done very well. Contractor did a good job. And so that is pretty much wrapped up.
Two-sided, it's looking both directions.
Yeah.
Thanks for the pictures.
So that's a done deal, except for, we need to get together with the Canal Authority for final inspection, or an inspection, so to speak, because ultimately it's their road. Additionally, SMS rail, over there, to continue to offload the grain cars and stuff. They were I was there on Friday, they had 12 cars, I think, lined up, ready to unload. Our electric, they're occupying the smaller building and it's pretty quiet there. All in all, the site looks pretty good, and we have a meeting tomorrow with the mayor and Tim Fisher,
And prospective
buyer to discuss stuff that Mr. Barton will probably elaborate on further on. And that's pretty much it for Canal Side. The Airport Industrial Park, I don't know where we stand or Sears stands with they have applied to the planning board, right?
That's correct. They have, they're now talking Kingsbury, particularly the zoning officer. The site is zoned light industrial and they want to do an outdoor chipper. So the zoning officer is trying to get past the outside chipper to make sure it's not too loud for the neighborhood. So they're working through that issue.
We already had that issue with current tenant there. Anyway, they were actually on site at the east modification. There were a couple trees on this picture here on the right down here. One of them broke off and was in danger of coming down at some future time and either damaging or destroying the guide rail, the road itself, whatever. So it was interesting because they got Sears to come in and take down that tree or remained of it and another one, I believe.
Yeah, it was Canal Corp who brought in Sears.
Yeah.
They footed the bill. It's their tree and they didn't try to put it in our lap, which is very much appreciated.
And that's when I happened to talk to the foreman or whatever about the airport industrial park. He said they were still waiting on the planning board. Anyway, so other than that, at the airport industrial park, I think if Sears gets approved, the approval they're seeking and stuff, then maybe we'll proceed with the sale of that parcel or parcels. Other than that, nothing to report there. And with that,
Who did these?
Mr. Barker.
Who did the pictures?
The modification.
Oh, the modification,
Keller and Sons.
William Keller. They did a good job, had a good foreman. I was there several times during the course of their construction, just to see that they're following the plans and specs.
Thank you, Park Chair. We'll turn it over to our CEO.
Okay, so water capacity expansion, 2 points. First, Labella has updated the water map plan report to recognize the project's 2 construction phases. And this map plan report is under review right now. Mr. Bruno and I had a discussion with Labella. We need a few modifications. We're gonna do the modifications and then we'll have the final map plan report for our board approval and then town approval. Secondly, last month, the board approved releasing the invitation to bid for the first phase replacement of the East Street water line up to the railroad, doing the work this fall for an estimated $1.8 million. Several contractors have shown interest. Proposals are due June 24th. Labella will be reviewing the proposals and provide a recommended winner for board approval at our special board meeting scheduled for Wednesday, July 1st at 9 a.m. at Fitzgerald Morris Baker and Firth office. And so hopefully everything will be in order for us to award the contract then. Any questions about water?
So at that meeting, we will have a final number, if you will, as to bid and also a contractor to discuss. And
Yeah, we'll invite Labella to the meeting so they'll actually do the presentation. Okay.
I will be at the bid opening, I think. You're gonna be there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is 24th. Yeah.
Mm.
So moving on to sewer connection, I have 2 points there. First, the Washington County Sewer District responded favorably to our will serve letter. The specified conditions include rehabilitation of the sewer line under East Street, Walden Avenue, and Notre Dame Street for an estimated $654,000. We are preparing a meeting with Washington County Sewer District to discuss that work and the funding for that work. Secondly, and this is very good news, this is breaking news from the end of last week. The proposed new water connection from the industrial park to East Street runs across WCC land as previously discussed. WCC has proposed selling lots to IDA for $211,000, which is the current appraised value of 100%. WCC asked for the sale agreement to include access rights to the remaining southern lot, which is a stranded lot. And Kara has drafted the sales agreement. We sent it last week, and to our pleasant surprise, WCC has agreed to the agreement. Now we're talking with Kara about any procedural issues we might have to do with seeker. We might have to do a brief inspection, so more to come. But the good news is we now have a sale price from WCC to buy the land where the water line is, where the sewer line will go, and where the gas line will go. So that's very good news. That's it on sewer, unless there are any questions. On the East
You
Street
said 100% appraised value, or we talking
Yeah.
the tax appraisal?
tax appraised value.
Okay, tax appraisal. I
100%.
just want to make sure clarification. Thank you.
So we talked about the East Street entrance road modification. There's a picture circulating. Mr. Bruno talked about. We do need to approve a work order change. The testing of the fill we had on site revealed that they contain too much organic material for road fill. Thus, we need to import the fill. That's for an additional $17,000. So that would bring the estimated total project cost from $269,000 to $286,000. So we need formally the board approval for the work order change. And Mr. Bruno, anything to add on for that?
no, that's pretty good. It's, you know, we thought based on our knowledge from Mr. Davidson, et cetera, that they might be able to utilize that excess, if you will, fill on site I dug around in it a little bit. And decided it was not suitable, any fill in the roadways. And that, this change order with the original price is still substantially lower than what we had originally
Correct.
estimated. So the project, my point is, the project budget price, I think, is in great shape.
Great, and everybody sees that change order on page 15 of your read ahead. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the change order scope of work to import fill for roadway for $17,049 for WMJ Keller and Sons Construction. Dan, second. Connor. Any discussion?
By the way, that number was, they being the contractor, Keller had originally said, okay, if we can use that fill, we'll deduct this much from the original contract, so it's just adding it back.
So it doesn't change the contract, you're right back to where you start.
Yes. Any other discussion? Roll call, please, Ally.
People is now abundance. And how do you vote on this?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Senator Foy,
Yes.
Mitch, Eric Yerkes,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes. Great.
Okay, continuing on the Lot 8 grade bridge replacement, the Lincoln reports, Washington County Highway Department will be having a pre-construction meeting on June 23rd, and I do plan to attend. Moving on to the new natural gas supply. As previously reported, National Grid Engineering proposed a new gas line route along the same path as the existing water line and proposed sewer line. The Bella's sewer connection design drawings have been provided to National Grid Engineering. National Grid Engineering is developing engineering service proposal. More to come on that. Then finally, on the canal side assessment, as previously mentioned, the two park lots are assessed at 10.3 million. A 2025 appraisal value of the site as is at only 5 million. On March 10th, the IDA submitted a complaint on real property form RP 524 for the village town lots. On May 26th, Karen and I attended the grievance day and pleaded our case. And then on June 4th, the IDA received a denial notice. Surprise, surprise.
yeah.
Claiming the supporting data was insufficient and sale comparables were not comparable to the property. So they just wouldn't buy our argument. We diplomatically disagree, but they win because they have the authority. But at least we did try. So that's it for any development with canal side and issues associated with the sale. As far as maintenance, we do have that rented skid steer. Duration rental will need to be extended 2 to 3 weeks. Our maintenance person was ill for a week and then encountered a few periods of rain. I went to the site today. He's going to get back out there this week, but again, this week has some rain. So we're trying to get the mowing done as quick as possible to return them to you. So more to come on that. And we talked earlier about the airport industrial park, so that's it for me unless there are any questions.
All right, hearing none, we'll move on to ongoing business. Creative Economy RFP Award, Chuck, page 16.
Okay, so page 16. Let me start by saying on May 15th, we received 6 proposals. All the consulting firms have submitted proposals are listed on this page 16. On May 19th, our advisory committee met and rated the top 3 for interviews. And the top 3 that were for interviews are listed at the top section of this table. And then on June 2nd through the 4th, we have 3 interviews, each an hour and a half long. 2 were in person, 1 was over Zoom. And the committee has ended up recommending the Bella Associates and Comoin Associates. And I know other people here, Lissa and Juan and Ali were at the meeting, so feel free to chime in. I think the main reason we chose the Bella and Comoin is the Bella knows the area locally really well. They've done a lot of comprehensive plans for the county, but for also the city of Glens Falls and other towns and villages. And then Comoin brought in this national presence. As you know, they're based in Virginia, originally founded in Saratoga. They really know national scene. So during the interview process, I think they really frankly wowed the group, and it's unanimous vote as far as rating Bella and Moines as the recommended company. I don't know if anybody has anything to add.
Yes, wanna start?
I think it was just pretty much hands down. The other two top companies just didn't have the presence. They didn't know the areas. And they said that they could get to know our areas in like 3 days. I think one was said 3 days and one said 4 days. And it's like, you can't even begin to
And one
touch.
want to do it remotely.
One month, yeah, it wasn't coming at all. Yeah, I think we were all very impressed with Bella at the point. And I think there were some comments maybe about how because they've had so much business, that maybe they have done so much business in the area that maybe they would be less apt to get to know the area more because they already thought they knew it. But I think that the knowledge that they already have is what makes them a winner. It's what's going to bring the most to both our counties.
Ally?
I agree. I mean, they all presented well. They all had their unique qualities, but you can't beat people who are from around here, have heard of all of everything that we have to offer. They were very enthusiastic about it, and they seemed more than capable. So, I agree.
This was fascinating in the sense where you've got, 5 of the 6 were juggernauts, and fascinating, and how they collected data was equally fascinating, and what they had access to was scary and fascinating. So, but when it comes down to it, the understanding of the creative economy of Washington and Warren counties are very different. And I think to give us the best chance of success moving forward, I also had LaBella or Camoin with LaBella's support ranked #1 in our Rubik's metrics. And so this is, and their pricing also gives us some additional leeway should we be able to need some additional time in the field as well. So I think it's a win both ways. For those that didn't get a chance to join, that it is, and you saw the briefs, it's just fascinating. And I think we're going to have an opportunity to do something for our creative economies of both counties and turn this money and let it catapult that industry for a decade. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited moving forward, and I thank everybody for being involved in the process.
Only additional thing I'll add is at the back of the chart when they broke down what they were going to do for each price. It looks like Bella didn't have like the premium option of, everything they said they were going to do in their basic option was someone else's premium. So you're getting a better product for cheaper value. Plus the localness sounded kind of cut and dry.
And to the people from Bella, one person grew up in Browning, pretty much. Now lives in Glens Falls, so she knows both counties.
Mhm.
And then someone new they brought in, Liz, originally from South Glens Falls, into the area and has an arts major. So the individuals in Bella really are well positioned to do what they need to do.
Yeah.
So explain to me, what's the definition of creative economy, and what's the objective here? What do we expect to get out of this?
That's one of the things we talked about. Part of the process, we will define the creative economy. How wide do you make this? How narrow do you make it? We want to make it as wide as possible. We want to make it practical.
Well, what is it? Creative economy.
So as you start with the common ones, the art galleries, the high, the ones that everybody would consider, then you go to Washington County, it's agritourism. And then you have to ask questions, what about that antique shop? Is that part of the creative economy, or is that part of retail, or is it both? So literally the first month of this process is going to be defining what we specifically think Warren and Washington County a creative economy is. And then, so they've got 88 institutions right now of what the creative economy is. And that number is going to
These
go.
are institutions that could expand, or you could expand.
I suspect it's going to expand to about 125. Yes. You talk about the the Children's Museum, the symphony.
No, what's creative about it?
It's different than what we usually do. So it's
I
like
agree.
your theaters, your museums, it's all the arts and stuff that we wouldn't necessarily, so. And to
It's
just
also
clarify,
festivals. Like this weekend, we had Lyric Festival in Glens Falls. That generates economic activity. And then Washington County, Adirondack Studio or Adirondack Scenic, that's a private business. Creative economy. So there's really a lot here that we need to work with to define.
and this was this was our end piece, right? We designate them and we step out of the way and they take it forward, that group. Is
That
that
group?
correct?
With the advisory.
Yes, so
Okay.
basically, one of the requests is that they will have 3 recommendations for, at least 3 for Warren County and 3 for Washington County on what that industries can do to propel them, to get them started. And they're gonna take that specifically, or potentially the Mosaic group that is forming that is gathering all these entities together to create a stronger voice for them.
So we will just get reports on this going forward, or are we totally out with this one?
No,
Once we,
every monthly board meeting, we'll have a report. What's
because we
happening.
we have to vote that it's Camoin and Lavella, but I mean,
Correct.
other than that. we'll just
The
have
advisory
reports.
committee, still Melissa's on it, and then of course Chuck and Ally will be there as well. Right, and then I'll be joining the meetings as well as the chair. So we'll have at least 4 representatives of the IDA that will take this to completion. Then once we're at completion at the end of next year, then we will look to see if there's any play for us. If not, the group that are forming to tackle this industry specifically, to move forward, we'll take those recommendations and go after whatever, how to execute on those recommendations.
So
Go ahead.
at the end of this, the goal for them, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, is to have a quantifiable number to like their impact in terms of how much they bring in and how much tourism they create and all that, and then to get more by having that number.
How to build.
Correct.
What information they get.
So once they say, hey, we're able to do this, join us, because
We
we
do wanna make sure that it is known that the idea, yes, so those numbers will all number of jobs, impact, all of that will be known. The idea is not for them to now take that and say, hey, we're in Washington County, now we need you. No, it's for them to take that and say, hey, we're doing well here. How do we get beyond, expansion with this? Can we go look at federal? Can we go look at state? How do we now use this to advertise
Gotcha.
that people, want to come and visit? Do they know, can they visit, both counties? Because that's what's going to happen, right? Is that somebody's going to be able to take this and say, hey, not only can you visit the Arts District in Glens Falls, but if you hop over 20 minutes to Washington County, you've got 4 or 5 of these things. And that is the attraction for those younger folks who eventually decide, hey, I want to live here.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to work here. And so that's the catapult that we're looking at, is to drive some very specific industry help for this one industry that needs help. And I think this is the start. Once we find a way to execute this by the end of next year and we know what we're doing, the question is, what other industries are in duress? How can the IDA help those industries in Washington County?
Excellent, thank you.
And I think it's a growth. You're trying to get to another level to spur different levels.
Yes.
It's more of a progressive.
Yeah, I think people, Lake George is a destination. But maybe we can sort of publicize our creative economy. Maybe that would be a reason for people to come there, not just for Lake George or Skeena or Mountain. Trying to generate more tourism.
And I
That's
think it's,
one of the facets.
it's almost like your car dealers, they all want to be on the same street. This is the same idea. You're gonna go to the Lyric Festival and you're gonna see this and say, hey, my friends over in Cambridge want to do this next week. We want you to go over there. And then vice versa, will go back the other way. The whole idea is to build off each other.
Exactly.
And they need a forcing function. And we believe that this study is going to give them the forcing function to grow. And so of all the things we've done at the IDA the past few years, this one's got me most excited. It is not traditional IDA stuff,
Might not fit us.
but if you look
it
at
is-
our IDA mission, if you really go in and read our IDA mission, the first half is the traditional incentives. The second half is economic development spurts. How do you grow, people, bodies, jobs? And this is one way that we're gonna do it, and it's gonna be fascinating. If we can, when we find success here, okay, what's the next industry does this group feel that we can go help and make a huge impact for the next decade or two?
Gonna help us craft how we are going to hold these people accountable, this Mosaic group or whatever it is around. This $180,000 of spending here to give them a plan, and is it our plan to help hold them accountable to it? Like how, what do you see that next piece being?
So that's the
We're gonna
fascinating
kind of
part,
give them the
right?
blueprint.
Yeah, so that we give them the blueprint. So what organizations are in line to take that, because there's gonna be a website, right? So what organization is in line to sit there and take that and continue the metrics to continue adding to the metrics? There's a few on my mind. I don't, it's too early to be listed names, but there's really opportunities for regional
Coordination.
organization.
Leadership, coordination.
Yes, there's a few that, we all know that we've all been on boards on in the past that have an opportunity to take the lead on this after we have it and really cement, gathering of members organizations. So and there is pathways. It's just too early to be mentioning.
It's actually one of the deliverables
Yeah.
for them to look at our landscape and say, okay, here are the actions. How do we get those actions in place? So it's gonna be interesting to see what bubbles up based upon their experience and their observations of this area.
And that's why I asked about the clarification, because the way they sold it to us, this was the part they needed the help with to get this off the floor, and then they were gonna take the ball and run with it, and it wouldn't be back on our plate, was what I thought I heard.
Yeah, we've said EDC, we've said IDA, we're not gonna be the ones responsible for these action
Right.
plans. It's gonna be some body that to be.
So in parallel, that Mosaic group that did come, that were members of the Mosaic group, they are starting to really create their identity on what they're gonna do and what they're going after. And they got a year to get their act together, because about this time next year, they should be wrapping up the what we got going on here. And then they're the ones that should be taking the lead.
Well, this should spur a lot of excitement in that group, because they haven't been able to do something like this before.
This is, they need that fire. This is it.
Yeah.
And we will continue to hold them accountable. You're absolutely right. And there are other organizations that can and should be taking the lead once we get something, right? Because trying to start from a blank sheet of paper is hard for most people to write a letter. But if you give them that letter and all they're doing is editing the letter, they can run with it. And so this is what we're doing basically. And I like how you said it, propel them to levels that they don't know where that they can get to. So. Anything else? All right, so the one thing I wanted, so let me have this discussion. So the proposed fee is showing at 166, 180. When we initially did the approval, we did up to 200,000. I would like a vote on up to 200,000 in case there are change orders that allow us to create more site visits in certain areas if we feel that is necessary. Or would this board like to keep that at 166, 180, and then any potential change orders come back to you guys every single time? You guys tell me, how do you wanna do it? How much time do you wanna spend on every change order here?
I'm okay with
200.
Yeah,
I would, but if accountability is what you're after, you make them come back.
that's right.
And so,
I mean,
his question was accountability, if that's what
The
we're
amount
trying
is
to do,
there,
make them
but
come back.
still need to review and
Please
explain
explain.
the
Doesn't know what that's.
All right, explain, all right,
Treat it like a construction draw. They had to come back and tell us why.
yeah.
Yeah.
In other words, don't hold up the contract. Go ahead. You have the flexibility, but you should still come back and talk about
Every
it.
change order continues.
We'll get it in writing and justification behind it.
And it's just gonna be the advisory committee that will be the ones dictating, say you didn't spend enough time in northern Warren County, we need 2 days up there during this time frame for this festival. And then, charge a couple $1,000s for whatever their time fee. That's kind of, if I see something changing, it's that, or it's, hey, new technology came, but we have to get a subscription to it, and this can help us, work on more accurate numbers, then that's another potential. Or it's, hey, we've got to be able to, 6 months into talking, there's 3 more metrics that we've figured out that may be needed, and then the advisory committee will consider that, and then we'll bring it back to the board. So there's a few other than Labella saying, here's a change order, because here's a change order. So that advisory committee is gonna be key to making sure that we hold both the Mosaic group that is helping to lead this, as well as Labella, keep them both in line. So any other questions? Not hearing any, so I will entertain a motion to approve the Camoin Associates and Labella Associates creative economy proposal with a cost not to exceed 200,000 with the caveat that if, they do have change orders for their $166,180, that the board will be briefed once those change orders happen. John, second. Connor, any final discussions? All right, with that, Ally, roll call, please.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Dan Bruno,
Yes.
John Teflin,
Yes.
Connor McCoy,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch,
Yes.
Mark Yearshaw,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, now the hard work begins. All right, moving on, LinkedIn May report. You want to, Ally or Chuck?
Let me think. You got it. So this is our monthly report. This is the first report from our new social media intern. We are increasing followers every month, and it's really based upon content and how we distribute the content. I won't go into the details, but we are quite excited with the new ideas and new energy with our new social media intern. She is, however, in Europe for a couple weeks. She'll be back. When, Ally? She'll be back. Late June, yeah. So she's actually doing things remotely for us. She actually prepared a lot of posts before she left, so she's been great to work with. So,
Paid her enough so she can go to Europe.
you know, these college kids, that's what they do. You just gotta roll with it. Someone else is paying them, not us. Yeah, so we're very excited and more to come on these monthly reports. Okay. That's it on
All right.
LinkedIn, unless there are any questions. I don't want to rush it.
Any other ongoing business? All right, new business, the EFPR Audit Services, page 19 of the read ahead. You want that one, Ally, or you want?
So EFPR, when they did the 2025 audit, that was the last year of their contract. They were originally signed up for just 3 years, and we had them add on 1 more year. So we have asked for quotes on continuing their services with us, and in your packets, they gave a 5-year quote. I think, wasn't it just they expected a 3-year contract, but they added 2 more? I forgot how that.
That's up to 5 years
Okay.
before you change the partner within the.
Yes.
So those are the numbers that they provided. They grow up, they get higher incrementally, but they have been since we started working with them to account for most likely inflation. And we're just presenting it to you guys to see what you think.
I'll add in there that in our meeting, as Chuck mentioned, we're switching partners. They only keep somebody on for, I think it's 5 years at a time. So we're moving to a different partner of the group to work on with full time, just to get new eyes on it, fresh ideas and everything. So we did not meet with that person, but they'll be doing our next audit. And he also mentioned that we should probably we could do quarterly or semi-annually check-ins with those guys if we wanted to, but he said it just not a once a year meeting. So they were very open to meeting with us again. They were very honest about what they're expecting going forward, and went well. And they gave us all of our recommendations on how we're gonna be handling things going forward. So overall, they were great. So I think the increases were minimal compared to what some other areas charge.
So you're saying they don't want to have just once a year, they'd like to at least see us twice to 4 times?
Just, yeah, so we definitely will be this year because we had some corrections they're asking us to do on how we're handling financials throughout the year, just to check in, because it's going to make it easier for them instead of having to go back and recheck some of the stuff we're doing.
Yeah,
So-
it's actually a little bit more of our request because we don't want to be surprises at the end of the year. If there's
Right.
something coming up.
Yeah.
There goes both ways.
Sitting on other boards, most of us have known how hard it is to find auditors and how to keep auditors and how that industry's for that specific niche is slimming because it's a lot of work for not a lot of fees, so. Anybody have any questions for Ally or Connor? Does anybody have concerns with a 5-year, signing for a 5-year proposal? All right, with that, I will entertain a motion to approve the EFPR 5-year proposal as shown there on page 19 of the read ahead. Dan, second. Brian? Roll call, please, Ally.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Ian Bruno,
Yes.
John Taplin,
Yes.
Connor McCoy,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch.
Yes.
Mark Yershaw,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes,
Motion passes.
great. All right, any other new business come before this board? Hearing none, we'll move to staff report. CEO, please.
Okay, May 19th through June 15th, I'll try not to be redundant with things you've already talked about. On May 19th, I attended Johnsburg Economic Development Meeting with developers. And then later on, the general public was allowed in. Mindy Prittinger, the town board member, has announced the town is interested in doing a DRI application. So this economic development group in Johnsburg is starting to get the momentum behind them. Then next, on May 20th and 21st, myself and Mr. Gonzalez went to New York State Economic Development Council annual meeting in Cooperstown. My sessions include the state of the grid update from New York Independent System Operator. As we all know, the grid is under extreme pressure right now with high demand and lower supply. Then I also attended the future of cannabis in New York State, and that actually appears to be getting better. It's been a little messy in the past couple of years, but regulatorily wise, it seems to be getting better. Then there was a session on the national view of economic development. That's always very interesting. And then we attended a morning seminar, Energy in New York State, with Doreen Harris, who's the CEO of NYSERDA, and Mike Ricker, who's co-CEO of Bright Core Energy, former hockey player. And it was very interesting hearing the back and forth about the state of both renewable energies and now, of course, nuclear energy coming to the forefront. Then I also attended the commercial property assessment of clean energy called CPACE. It's a new financing tool. Actually, it's an old established financing tool that might be applicable to our area in certain circumstances. And then my last seminar was AI, demographics, and geopolitics, and how there's a shifting in the labor market due to those three areas. And by the way, we were a silver sponsor for the first time. That's the fourth of 6 different sponsorship categories, and that was very much appreciated by the EDC. Anything to add?
Yes, no, I love these conferences because I get to grab CEOs from other IDAs and pick their brains on topics. And one of the topics was land sales and whether or not we should be giving discounts on land. And half said yes and half were adamant no, so there was no help. But it was good to get their perspective.
Well, it just means you use your own discretion.
It is right. It's a business decision. We're gonna have to make a business decision.
Good.
I'm
Okay,
good.
so May 22nd, I attended the Lake Champlain, Lake George Regional Planning Board Brownfield Coalition meeting with Weston Sampson. Then on May 27th, I attended a West Mountain Development Update meeting with some new consultants and their investors. Then on May 28th, I was invited to Town of Salem Comprehensive Plan Focus Group. On June 1st, I attended the East End Rising BOA with Glens Falls. They had a public presentation night. And then on June 2nd and 4th, we had the Creative Economy Advisory Committee interview. Sorry, that's redundant. Then on June 4th, there was a triple chamber mixer at the Sagamore. And also then on June 1st and 8th, met with an applicant who actually submitted their application today with the check. More to come on that. And then on June 12th, I had the pleasure of hanging no trespassing signs at the industrial park because now with our new entrance, it's very inviting. So we're making sure people understand they can't trespass on our land. Good luck with that, right? We have had an incident with some young people showing up in their cars at night, and they called the sheriffs, and the people were quickly left. So there are issues here that we do worry about over the weekend. We have gates that we are now closing on weekends. Moving on to my engagements, we're at 20, let me read here, 28 engagements so far. 8 manufacturing distribution, 4 in tourism recreation, 2 in hotel and resort, 1 in food and beverage, 2 in mixed, 8 in housing, 1 in medical, and 2 in other. And of those, 6 are potential applications in 2026, 6 are potential applicants in 2027, 0 in 2028. 11 are unknown, and 5 will probably not be applicants. And as far as our pipeline list, we currently have 22. 5 are in mixed use, 5 are in housing, 5 are in hotel and resort, 8 are in manufacturing distribution, and 1 is in tourism and recreation. We received one manufacturing distribution application today, and I'm expecting another later this week. Of those 22, 4 are in application preparing mode. 7 are possibly going to be applicants. 11 are still exploring the idea, and that's a total of 22. And as with every report, we've had at least 10 go inactive for whatever reason within the past year. And that's my report, unless there are any questions.
Great. All right, moving on to our administrator.
I only have one update. So at the beginning of the month, village taxes went out to the pilots that are in the village. There's only 3 of them. We haven't received any payments yet, but they're not due till the end of the month. So hopefully we'll get them all in, but I'll let you know next month. Something else that I did want to bring up, as you all know, July 1st, we're having the special meeting, and I want to confirm everyone's attendance. John and Melissa, you said you will not be able to attend. So who's here? Connor, can you still attend? Good. Well, Connor, Brian, Dan, and Juan, can you all still attend?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Mark, you said you could attend remotely. Is that still the case?
I think so.
Okay, so at this point, we would need, oh no, because you still need a quorum in person. Okay, so at this point, we do not have a quorum. I have not heard back from Trisha or Charlie yet. I was hoping they'd be here today for confirmation.
What's the date again?
July 1st
It's a Wednesday.
at 9 o'clock.
That's the day the
So,
rest of my family leaves, so
I
I
might
will
be
leave
back.
work to distract
I
me.
might be back. I
okay,
think I come back Tuesday night.
okay, well,
Let me confirm.
okay. What I will do is reach out to Trisha and Charlie again tomorrow. If either one of them can make it, we will have a quorum. But right now, we don't. Just wanted
Do we
to-
have any abstains for the items that we need for a quorum on 1 July? Applications?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Does anybody need to abstain for that?
Oh, any
application?
No, the real approval will be for the award of the contract for the water line on East Street. That will be the main purpose. As far as the applicants, Legacy Equipment is the applicant.
Have to abstain.
Okay,
So we have
Okay.
1 abstain. Then we have land purchase that we're gonna discuss at that meeting. Then we have some engineering work reimbursables that we have to discuss.
we can delay Legacy to the June, July,
15th.
the July 20th meeting. That is
I
possible.
can probably make it.
Okay.
Back into town the night of the 30th, so.
We're not going together, just so you know.
So the math was not mathing for a minute.
We like,
Ditto.
Okay, yeah.
Administrators conference, that was all.
no, I'll be back a lot earlier.
Well, anything to do, let me know, and in the meantime, I'll try to pin Charlie and Trisha down. That'd be great. Thank you. That's all I have.
Great. Any comments, any public comments? No need to go into an executive session. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. John, second, Dan, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. You got you out 45 minutes.
Thank you.
Aye.